Hey, I hope you've watched already One Piece, the latest One Piece episode today. One Piece episode 1157. That's what I watched this morning, and it was spectacular. I loved the new intro. I put the notes here on my side so I can cover everything that I just saw today because they didn't fail again. Season 2 has been a really good start. Last week's episode was amazing. I loved how Shanks just kicked the heck out of Bart, and there was a lot of discourse in the One Piece community. They were like, Shanks is an asshole. Why would they do that to Bart? And I am a part of the side where I support Shanks. And you just have to understand, like, Shanks is a pirate. He's not like Luffy in a way. And Bart did burn the flag of an emperor, so he got it coming. You don't just burn. And also, why do you call yourself a Straw Hat fan if you don't even know that Luffy is a big fan of Shanks? Like, that is a big core of who Luffy is and how he started his pirate journey. You can't call yourself the biggest Straw Hat Luffy fan. That's a big part that you missed, brother. You deserve to sink. Just kidding. I love Bart, but he deserved that. Why did you have to burn Shanks' flag? But anyway, yeah, that's what you get for playing around too much in Emperor's territory. But anyway, going back to this episode, I wanted to start first with the intro. I have my notes here. Intro was awesome. How it ended with Luffy transitioning to gear 5th and just smiling. It was so good. If you're an OG One Piece fan and you see the gears just going in every One Piece intro, today you see another part of Gear 5. It was amazing. And you also see the official colors and also colors and movements of how they animate Loki, 12 Nights. It was, and Emo's eye again. I can't wait to see Loki in the anime. I don't think they're gonna be showing him this season. Maybe next time. I think the Block Kingdom small arc is gonna be quite a while. And speaking of the Kingdom arc, like the Legos, I remember reading it in the manga like a few years before. I really didn't like this part. I think it's only me because I don't see too much about it in the One Piece community where they complain about it. And honestly, I didn't like it ever since I started reading it in the manga before, because I just thought that if you even just remove the Lego arc and just skip straight into Elbaf, it feels like nothing even, like, it didn't have anything significant other than the fact that Oda just wanted to reveal Elbaf in a, like, he wanted to give more time for suspense and give you a misconception that that was already Elbaf. But other than that purpose, you don't really see any other purpose of having the Lego arc. Because it's just, yeah, I know it's going to be argument like, yeah, it reflects Elbaf, the Yggdrasil tree, it looks like Elbaf. Like, it doesn't really matter if you're represented or not. It like, for me, personally, it just was redundant, and it was something that could be acted as if it is a filler, but no, it is a part of the manga, unfortunately. But a lot of people liked it, so I mean, I guess whatever you want, But I didn't like it when I was reading the manga. But so far the animation is really good. I'm just enjoying it. And I remember in this episode, you see Nami was just crying. She started out crying because of the cat, the big ass cat, and also the bees and all the monsters. And she was like crying, like, "Oh, Luffy, Zoro, Luffy, Sanji, help me! I'll even take Usopp." And the delivery was so impeccable. It was so funny. I was rolling out of my bed when I heard that. When the delivery was awesome. Props to the voice actor. It was funny. It was hilarious. I cried listening. I repeated it a lot of times when I was listening to it. I'll tell you. and Usopp was just in the mouth of a cat. And speaking of Usopp in the mouth of a cat, there was a part of the episode where it got me like, huh? Are you for real? And it was a part when Luffy punched the heck out of the cat, and he was like, Usopp, you could have just taken this in one shot. Nami, you could have taken this in one shot. I mean, I believe Nami could have taken it one shot. I mean, she has Zeus. But Usopp, really? Like, were they for real? Was Luffy for real? Or, I don't know. But for me, Usopp couldn't even tap that shit. Like, he's the weakest out of the five there in this episode right now. And speaking of Nami having Zeus, I also saw in the One Piece community there were a lot of people complaining how Nami got Zeus and now she's like being overly reliant. And it wasn't actually a part of the manga. It was just a part of a filler where she was just tapping on the Climatak and Zeus, please help me, because prior to Zeus she knows how to work her way around the tact. But I honestly see Nami having Zeus as a really good plot device. Like, it just honestly made sense for me because she's always been the weather girl. I've been an OG fan. I've been watching One Piece since 12, like over a decade ago, and I understand Nami as a character. She's always about the weather and everything. And I was wondering before, like, even without the Big Mom's arc being in the manga or everything, I was like, how is Oda gonna be making Nami better? And Zeus was a really smart move, I would say. So I don't know about y'all, but for me, Zeus was a good addition to Nami, and she's now a part of a really good she is worth a part of the Yonko crew. It's really just Usopp at this point that needs something, because he's just rolling. He's a oh my god, he's still a coward, and it's already in Elbaf. He has to have some sacrifice at some point. And speaking of sacrifice, I was reading in the community as well, and some One Piece sleuths have seen in the intro, or was it the outro, that out of everybody that was running, like, there was a scene where it was only their legs running, and Usopp was the only one that stopped. And there was a lot of interpretation that maybe Usopp is gonna take a huge L for the team and just sacrifice himself and not move past Elbaf. He's gonna die there and he's gonna get buried there, because that's always his dream, to be there in Elbaf and be a brave warrior in the sea. And what would make you brave than just giving up your own life, especially if you were the biggest coward? It really just makes sense for me. Like, you're the biggest coward in the crew and you just give up your life for somebody else. That's the bravest thing that you can do. You're the bravest warrior in the sea. Congratulations to you. So Usopp, time's up, man. You gotta die. And I will support that. But I love Usopp, but I want him to die as well. But I don't want it to be like permanently. Like, I'm pretty sure there's like a Trafalgar Law, immortality something, or there's just gonna be a plot device that's gonna make him resurrect him. But in the meantime, I want him to die and just be more powerful. We need that from Usopp. It's already in Elbaf. We're almost ending the One Piece anime. Like, get your shit together, Usopp. Please. You've been a coward ever since day one. Another thing that I want to talk about is, why the heck is Nami looking like a hooker, bruh? Not that I'm against any hookers, or a hooker is sex job is a sex job, whatever. But I'm talking about, like, why do you have to magnify that she's not wearing any panties, bro? What? That's so... I saw there were screenshots of Nami, and you can just see a V line. Like, you can see the line, and then I don't know what she's wearing. It's kind of like something that you can actually see that she's not wearing anything underneath. And you did. I mean, if you're a One Piece fan, you've heard Oda said in one of his SBS that, yeah, Nami isn't wearing anything underneath. And that was crazy to me, because she was running around not wearing any panties, and her skirt wasn't even that long. She just got her pussy all over around, running around. Like, that's so crazy. Yo, how do you even fight if you don't got any underwear and you're wearing the skimpiest skirt ever? I don't know. Nami's got her skills, I guess. But yeah, that's too much. That's too much. I also saw in the One Piece, like the animator of One Piece, like she made in that episode, previous episode, he made like the boobs kind of like smaller, but the animation studio was like, no, make it bigger, make it bigger, make it like look like the moon, because and that was just I don't know, guys. I mean, if you like it, you like it. That's always been the target market. I don't know. Male gaze. I studied that back in college. I my course is like media, so I study everything about media, and a part of it is also anime. And like there was a time where we were studying about like the male gaze, and male gaze is basically like your target is the male, and how do you do it? You over sexualize parts of women to make sure that it appeals to that type of audience. But yeah, and how they beat the cat was kind of reminiscent to the Fishman Island, where Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji just did a combo attack together, and it was awesome. It was satisfying. But really, did they have to do all of that for just a cat, though? Luffy could have just taken it with one bullet. But I mean, they just wanted all the smoke. So, poor cat. It was awesome though. It was a really. Oh yeah, and speaking of doing something from what they did before, reminiscent to what they did before, the outro was absolutely hilarious. If you've seen the part where Luffy and Usopp were just acting as Luffy was impersonating Sanji, like, and then Usopp was Robin's eye, Nami. That was so funny, and Nami was just pissed off and just punched the heck out of them. It was funny, and also at the same time, if you've been an OG fan, it was a good callback to the previous seasons of One Piece, the previous arcs of One Piece. Especially if you're an OG fan, that was an amazing feeling to see. The intro and outro of the new season is amazing. Props to the animation studios and everything. But yeah, that's all that I gotta say for this episode. Obviously, it's gonna take a few more episodes until the Lego arc is gonna end, but hopefully it's gonna end soon. For me, it really isn't. I don't know. The Lego arc isn't my thing. I just want it to be Elbaf right away. And let's just go straight to Emu, y'all. To the Knights and Shamrock. I want to see Shamrock. And yeah. If you haven't watched One Piece, the new episode, come watch it now, and then just tell me what your thoughts are in the comments. And let's discuss and talk more. Because I don't have anybody to talk about it. So that's why I'm talking to the void. And hopefully some of y'all will listen. Because this is a part of my passion. Yeah, anyway, see y'all in the next One Piece review or anything that I'm going to be talking about this 4 a.m. Bye, y'all.